There everyone, we are hopping straight into the video once again, and that is just because it's been a busy week and there is a little insert for me way at the bottom if you care to know why I'm not appearing in a video. So I am taking this piece of wood. I've had it in the craft room and I am just banging it up with a hanger just to get a more distressed look out of this. I recently watched Upcycle by Bree's newest upload, and I wanted to try her milk paints, method. So we are going to change it up though a little bit. I am going to take these paint inlays from IOD and I am going to cut them out to fit my piece of wood how I want them to be. So you don't have to use the full sheets of paint inlays. You can cut them up to fit your needs, which is what I'm doing here. I'm just making sure they flow. There's no straight edges sticking out. And I get these paint inlays from Vonda at paintedheirloom.com. Link is in the description box. Once I find out my placement, I am going to grab the dark DIY wax and I'm going to put that over everywhere that I hammered out. This is also going to bring out the distressing, but this is also going to make it so anywhere I put the wax, the milk paint is not going to stick. So this is kind of like guaranteed distressing almost. So I'm going to buff that out. Now I'm taking my milk paint. Again, you guys, I'm new to milk paint. I mix 50-50 ratio, and then I applied it to my board. You could already see where we put that wax, the paint isn't sticking. I will say, Bree said to use warm water with mixing this, and of course I didn't, so it takes forever for the paint to like set up. So I need to remember that and try it next time, but it did do its job. So I am going to get those paint inlays and I'm going to place them over the wet milk paint. I did not know how these paint inlays were going to react to the milk paint, but I figured, you know what? Let's just give it a try. Worst thing that happens is I have to sand it all off. So I am pressing that in there. Then I'm going to take the water bottle and I'm going to spritz it with water and dab it off, just like we would do if we were doing them with regular chalk paint. And for those of you that are new to paint inlays, it's essentially like a paint transfer. So the image is paint, and once you put it on top of wet paint, it infuses and transfers into that paint. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. So you can see as I start drying it, you can start seeing the crackle begin. I did avoid drying the transfers. I was just trying to get the paint. Now I'm going to take my water again once the transfers have completely dried, and I am going to spritz the water on. This is going to allow the paper to loosen up and allow us to peel this back. And y'all, look at how beautiful. Now, I will say with the milk paint, some of the paper was definitely sticking, which doesn't usually happen. Usually it peels right up and no worries. With the milk paint, I was having an issue with the paper sticking to the paint. So as you can see, we got these harsh lines, you guys. So I took a mini chip brush, I took my extra milk paint, and I went and I blended in those harsh lines that were left behind from the paint inlay. And you can see how beautifully it's coming out. There's nothing we can't fix with paint, y'all. Like, we can fix everything with paint, okay? So I am going to continue to do that to the rest of my board. Now you guys, look at me. Look at me. I made another stencil. I did it. I'm turning into a stencil queen. It's so funny. Like once you learn how to do something, you're like, oh, I want to make everything with this. So I made this. I even figured out how to like make my own stencil letters. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways, so I made this stencil. Flowers, seed. It's supposed to say seeds, but don't worry. because there's an S there. So I am taking Prairie Gray by DIY. I'm taking, this is just a stencil brush from Dollar Tree and it works amazing. And I am putting my paintbrush into the paint and then I'm dabbing it off onto a paper towel before I start stenciling. This way we don't have a bunch of bleeding underneath our stencil. I'm going to follow this through the entire stencil. And then this is when I realized like, oh yeah, look at how nice that looks. But that's when I also realized, oh, that should say seeds, not seed, flowers and seed. I mean, I guess seed. I don't know. I ended up putting an S at the end. So I just used the same stencil, grabbed one of the S's, put it at the end, and then stenciled the paint on. Now I'm taking this and stamp from IOD. I've had this collection and never knew what to use it on, and this just gave me like a million ideas. So I just put some of that paint on there, put the stamp down on. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous, you guys. Seriously, when I get a hold of a piece of wood, there is nothing that I cannot accomplish and feel proud of. And this is definitely one of those pieces. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I still am going to need to clear it with Clear Matte by Rust-Oleum. So the blue might look a little bit darker, but this will be available on my website. If I do not decide to keep it, it'll be available on my website. And I hope you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed the process. Now, this is going to be a super easy flip. This was a $4.99 can from Savers. And it was beautiful on its own, but I had extra milk paint, so we're painting it. We are not wasting any of that milk paint. So you guys, we're just painting the whole thing. I mean, the whole thing. And we're going to cover the front of it as well. Now, this did not give us any crackle at all. I didn't get any crackle. The paint does look aged and it has texture to it, but I didn't get any crackle out of it. So the milk paint is still very confusing to me, because I didn't put any bond in it this time. Now I'm taking the Alchemy wax, and this is in the color Soot. And I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm just outlining everything because I want it to pop. Then I'm going to lay my brush flat on its side and kind of hit those letters. I didn't want to get this wax everywhere. I really wanted the letters and everything to pop and stand out on its own. And then I just take my finger and kind of buff it out. Then I'm like, that's looking a little too harsh. So I put a little bit more distressing inside there. And then I add just a little tiny bit to the rest of the can. And this ends up turning out so good. And it was such an easy thrift flip, but makes such a big difference. Like, this is ready to go for spring decor. I love the little, yellow flowers in there, and that pewter picture is available on my website, y'all. But I love this. If you are into decorating with flowers in your home, comment with a flower emoji, because I am definitely that girl. Okay, our last one is so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so I'm taking this Decoupage paper again. I get this from Sonnet's Garden and Blooms. Her link's in the description box. I had a vision for this egg decoupage piece right here. The pink wood, you guys, is just a scrap piece of wood. I had painted it with pink and water at one point, and that's why it's pink. So I get the decoupage paper, set that to the side. I'm going to take Plaster by Waverly, and you're going to paint the front, the back, and the sides of it. Now, I did do kind of like a messy paint job, so some of the pink shows through, but I'm not even worried about that. So this is going to be a freestanding sign, so if you are making this, make sure you paint the back because people will probably see it. Now we're taking that decoupage paper. I'm going to take Liquid Patina by DIY. Brie does have this back in stock. I know some of you asked about that. It is in stock now. I'm going to do some light even coats right here. And I will say, you guys know I'm new to the decoupage paper, but I was kind of blown away. So as I start doing this, of course, I notice the wrinkles start happening. And I'm the type of person where like I don't care about the wrinkles. I think it adds character, texture, all of the above. So I'm going to show you Exhibit A right here. And all of those wrinkles that you see, I mean, you can totally see them, right? I mean, they're there, they're in your face. Well, once I started drying this down, so I put my top coat on, I start drying this down, and you will see the wrinkles are going away. Like they're flattening out. And I was like, what is happening here? It was the coolest thing. All right, now we're breaking out our molds. So I'm using Amazing Resin, 50-50 ratio, mix for 40 seconds, and it cures within 10 minutes. I'm using my trimming mold from IOD, and we're going to make 3 different ones. While that is setting up, I'm going to take these IOD letter stamps. You guys, I feel like I haven't used vinyl in so long because I'm always using these stamps, and I think that's amazing because they're reusable. Less work. So I'm going to spell out spring, and I'm doing that before I put my molds on because I want to ensure that I have enough room to fit them on. So this was my initial vision. It was just going to be the decoupage paper and the stamp, but when I realized the decoupage paper didn't fit on the wood all the way, I came up with a way to fix it or enhance it, I guess. So I just stamped that with the Stone Gray ink by IOD. Now I'm going to take these molds and I am fitting them to our piece of wood. You need a very, very sharp cutting tool because this resin does not cut easy. You can kind of like heat it up with your hot gun, heat gun, and it does make it a little bit more pliable and you can cut it more easier. Oh, goodness, girl. Anywho, now we're taking Old 57. You guys, this color is so much fun. It is so bright. I'm going to paint all 3 of our trimmings with this Old 57. Now, I wanted to use Old 57 because I wanted to try the dark wax over it. I knew that the contrast would just set this over the edge, over the top. So I am just taking a stencil brush, applying that dark wax. Make sure to hit the tops of these molds as well since it's a freestanding sign. I'm going to grab our paper towel and I'm going to wipe back the tops. Oh my word, right away I was like, "Yup, yes ma'am. This is amazing. It's going to look gorga." Okay. So after we're done with that, we are going to place it on our sign. I love the 3 different details that we have going on here. I'm going to use my wood glue. I ain't messing around with mixing super glue, hot glue. I'm trying to practice patience, which I don't have much of. I have 3 kids. Come on. Okay. So I'm going to put those on there. Make sure the bottom is flush with the sign. That way we don't have a wonky standing sign. So I don't like the white that you can see through, so I just got the dark wax and kind of filled that in. But y'all, look at how fun this sign is. I had one vision and it turned into something completely different, but look at that detail. Look at that. If that doesn't make you smile and make you happy, we can't be friends. We can. It's fine. We don't have to like the same things. But you guys, thank you so much for being here with me. All of these items will be available on my website for purchase. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And I hope I taught you something new. I hope you guys had fun. And as usual, I appreciate you all being here. Hey everyone. So these are for my people that wait till the end of the video to see the bloopers. No bloopers because I didn't film an intro. I have been like absolutely swamped. The little bit of time I do have, I am trying to put out the best quality crafts that I can. And then the guys started working on the house again this week. So I have not had any time. We've been like yesterday or today, Montgomery and I were out of the house all day because it was so loud. So that time that I probably would have done my makeup and done intros, went to thrifting. Sorry, not sorry. But I just want to say that I appreciate you all. The intros and the bloopers aren't going anywhere. I just have been like just crunched for time lately. So I just want you to know I appreciate you guys always being here with me, chatting on the premieres. And I hope you have an amazing day. And these will all be available on the website. Bye.